Breaking news here on the Cowboys Report. A very busy roster cut-down day as the Cowboys have made a trade, a player-for-player swap, as Kelvin Joseph's time with the Dallas Cowboys is over. He has been traded for Noah Igbinoghene, the Dolphins corner, who is a former first-round pick out of Auburn. It's the classic, we're going to trade our disappointing player for your disappointing player. It is a one-for-one swap, no other trade details involved. I do know that Noah was not at Dolphins practice today, which was kind of weird because it had seemed like he was going to be a lock for the Dolphins roster. Well, now they've made a trade. At the core here, and we'll go more in depth on this, the Cowboys thought they were thin outside cornerback spots. They have options there. They didn't have options at nickel. Kelvin Joseph was their nickel. They needed more outside guys. They have now flipped one for an outside player in Noah Igbinoghene. Both players have been disappointment, but had started to show signs of promise after a rough early start to their career. Now, when breaking news happens, we have the guys covered. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button for more free NFL Cowboys-focused YouTube videos right here on the channel. Hit that sub button right now. That will include, by the way, the final 53-man roster, which is going to come out in an hour-ish. So it'll be another video very soon. Don't miss out. All right, let's break down who the heck is Noah Igbinoghene. The Auburn corner was a late first-round pick by the Miami Dolphins, and what really was a bit of a surprise move from the organization. He was not necessarily viewed as an obvious first-round pick. Much like Kelvin Joseph, Igbinoghene has struggled over the course of his NFL career. The numbers here don't look that bad, but he hadn't been that impactful. He's a fantastic athlete, 31 3/4 arms, despite only being just over 5'10", but he's been predominantly an outside corner for the Miami Dolphins. Former wide receiver. Did have some kick return value. I'm looking at my draft notes here from Auburn as well. Promising prospect. By the way, Noah Igbinoghene is just 23 years old. He is actually younger than Eric Scott, your sixth-round draft pick from this year. So much like the youth angle of trading for Trey Lance, who's super young, the Cowboys trading for a young corner here in Igbinoghene, who in theory has not yet hit his best football yet, although the Dolphins are saying the exact same thing about Kelvin Joseph. A lot more to come on this trade, but give me your one-word reaction to the move. It is going to be today's pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go and tell me, I should say, your one-word reaction to this trade. Let's look now at what the Cowboys cornerback room has. And I mentioned the nickel angle, right? And why, if you were going to bring back Jourdan Lewis, which as we broke down earlier today, link will be in the comments in the description, you had three options at nickel: Deron Bland, Jourdan Lewis, and Israel Mukuamu, which your outside corners, the only one who was a lock was Trevon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore. Now you have another corner locked in. So the five corners who are guaranteed to be on your roster: Trevon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, Jourdan Lewis. Now, Israel Mukuamu will probably make it as a hybrid nickel safety piece. C.J. Goodwin will probably be released and then brought back to the Cowboys organization. Or maybe it's the end of the road, but Joseph's path was kind of beating out Goodwin. That's kind of gone. So I think he'll be on the team in some capacity. There's some guaranteed money there, but that's fine. As for Eric Scott and Deshaun Wright, I don't know. Deshaun Wright might be carried through initial cuts and then put on IR. Eric Scott had a great start to training camp, then kind of cooled off. So you have your four. Fifth is Noah Igbinoghene. Your full-time sixth could end up being Eric Scott, but we'll know for certain in the next hour or so. The Dolphins, I mentioned, they have a bunch of outside corners. Xavier Howard. Kader Coe's probably going to play outside corner with Jalen Ramsey banged up. Cam Smith's an outside corner. Eli Apple's an outside corner. They were thin at nickel. Now they have another nickel option in Kelvin Joseph. And I think both teams are telling themselves here, hey, we are getting a change of scenery for a player who needs it, for a guy that was playing much better this preseason than what we had previously seen. Dolphins fans are not going to be upset about moving on from Igbinoghene. I don't think that many Cowboys fans will be upset. So grade the trade of the backup corners for the Cowboys, of course. A, B, C, D, or F? Sound off for me in the comment section. This does end another player's time with the Cowboys from that 2021 draft class. Kelvin Joseph was a risk. It was all the off-the-field drama, which since the last one has been mostly good. But look, Kelvin Joseph was a second-round pick who needed time, needed growth, needed development, etc. He wasn't there yet. He was getting there, but and I know this, and I think I can say this now that he's gone, and I'm not risking getting in trouble for saying it. Kelvin Joseph, of all the Cowboys players last year, internally from that coaching staff, graded out the lowest. That is how poorly that coaching staff viewed him. And although he was playing better at nickel, you had nickel options, I think it was too little too late, despite a very strong preseason showing. On one hand, it's like you're finally giving up on a play. You're giving up a player who you stuck by through all the rough stuff. You're selling before the stock is supposed to skyrocket, but you're also buying one in Noah Igbinoghene, who's in a very similar boat. Now, if you want to get this sweet Cowboys NFL Jam shirt, either CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, head over to chatsports.com/CowboysJam. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. They've also got Troy Aikman and Michael Irving in there as well. Links in the comments and the description, chatsports.com/CowboysJam. Do want to spend the last minute or so here of today's video on the money side of it, then wrap up with final thoughts of who won the trade. The Cowboys taking on a little bit more money here. They save $1.37 million, which the Dolphins owe by taking on Kelvin Joseph's deal. The dead money was just under $800,000, which had already been paid out from signing bonuses stuff there. Noah Igbinoghene is a little bit more expensive. He's owed $2.14 million. Dolphins saving $2.14, so it's the same money because it's a non-guaranteed base salary, basically. Dolphins will eat $1.44, so less than $1 million being added doesn't drastically change the Cowboys' outlook. In fact, it doesn't change their outlook at all. Dolphins save a bit. They have been linked to Jonathan Taylor, after all. So that is your second Cowboys Report video of the day. Kelvin Joseph, Boss Man Fat, is out of here. Noah Igbinoghene takes over as maybe the team's top backup corner. Maybe not even for week one, but once it's up to speed with what Dan Quinn wants to do. I think it's a solid fit in the defense. I am not going to complain about this trade at all. You had nickel options. They were not going to play Kelvin Joseph on the outside anymore. I think it's a fine deal for the Cowboys, shuffling out kind of that 45th-ish man on your roster in the trade to acquire former first-round pick Noah Igbinoghene.